Western Spain Television. Ours it is.
All right, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. We are very delighted to have you join us today again on the midweek installment of Morning Spring, where we look at topical and trending issues of public importance. That's what we deal in and deal with at this time every weekday. Femi Ojo remains my name, and I welcome you. Thank you for joining us today again. Evelyn, good morning.
Good morning to you, Femi. How do you do today?
Very well. Thank
Good morning, people. Thank you.
Keeping the hope alive.
Yes, that's it. We just have to keep hope alive. Thank you, people, for joining us on the midweek installment of Morning Spring. My name is EVELYN. OHIOLEI. It is a perfect day in the month of February 7, 2024. And again, we go for gold. Welcome on board.
Right, about going for gold, that is what the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be attempting to do today when they face the Bafana, the boys from South Africa. We wish them all the best. This is the penultimate stage before the final, semi-final. At least they are guaranteed of 2 matches, either as a finalist or the third place. But we don't want that narrative of a bronze that tastes like gold. That's more like just painting, making somebody to have a feel-good factor. So the gold is the main thing. Good luck to the boys today. But talking about the state of the nation, we learned yesterday there was a meeting by critical stakeholders. By the way, we learned the president is back from Paris, and maybe we'll now have to see to the way things are right now. When people say things are not so good, I think that's a way of being polite. Things are bad. That's just the way it is, economically speaking. So there was a meeting, chaired by the chief of staff, the economic team, the NSA, and all of them were there. And we learned there will be quick intervention. That the president has directed that there be quick intervention. That's what we hear right now. Evelyn.
Yes, and of course we also had the economic team of the president also graced that invite at the House of Assembly, yesterday. National House of Assembly yesterday. Yeah. And we had the CBN governor speaking to issues. We had the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Adum, also speaking to issues. And worthy of note is what Mr. Cardoso said, that where we are right now is as a result of, medical tourism, is as a result of educational tourism, people going outside of the country to study, people going outside of the country for health purposes. And, Nigerians came for him yesterday saying, this is not it. This is not what we ask you to speak to. Yes, you have reeled out the courses, but where are we to go from here? But I believe one thing that I believe in is understanding the problems. If you do not understand the problems, you just keep on trying, trial and error kind of thing. So,
which is looking like what they are doing right now. Let's just call it what it is. When he was speaking at the National Assembly, rightly as he said, he started by saying this is as a result of pressure on the dollar, too much pressure, which is exacerbated by 2 things. The need for medical tourism by the people, which makes people to, search for dollar at every point possible. And the people are going, outside the country for education. They are the ones that, in as much they need dollar to do this thing, it puts much pressure on the dollar.
Demand.
Yeah, demand for that. And, of course, people will come for it. Because the thing is this, how many of those students who go, outside the country to study, or the Japa route, how many of them get those dollars from the bank? These are the issues. Is it the pressure on the bank, or, but then expect Nigerians to really say, it's like this blame game thing is just continuing.
Yes.
It's just a matter of a striker pulling a shot and a goalkeeper, instead of catching, is just deflecting here and there. This is deflection, Evelyn.
Exactly, and this is a time for us to actually put those things.
These are the people who have made things to go these worse.
Education, health.
Health, yeah.
These are the times for us to put it in place, because our health really is nothing to write home about. Our education at this time, we are trying educationally, but then we have to invest more in education so that people can stay put in our country. There was a time that the Ghanaians come to Nigeria to study. There was a time where the Cameroonians,
West
African nations come to Nigeria to study, but we do not have any more of that. People, we see Nigerians going to Benin Republic to study, going to Ghana Sudan to study, going to Libya.
How many were evacuated in Sudan during the war?
And
these are the issues now. And so when the thing is, why are people going out to study? Of course, let's say it as it is, some of them are just japa routes. That way, it's not just for the education for most persons, that's the truth. But then, why not make this place habitable? You're talking about education. There was a time we learned the royal family usually come to the UCH, University College Hospital in Ibadan, for medical attention, for medical service. That was where we used to be, but now the opposite is the case, because Bukar Ibrahim, former governor Yobe, that died in Saudi Arabia, for medical tourism, and these are the issues as well. We'll stay on this matter. Mr. Cardoso, we don't envy your job right now. You call for it, possibly you love it, we wouldn't know for it. You've been appointed and you should work. The Japa guys, people going for medical tourism are the reasons why the dollar is at 1,004, 1,005 exchanging, 1,004, 1,500 naira exchanging for $1. Interesting one there. We'll go on this quickly, by the way. And, just not to sound like an ambinger of bad news, I saw a post from OSEMSAS, that's Osun State Emergency Services Agency, on their page. An accident that happened yesterday, Ilesha Road. This was gory. I couldn't just even watch it twice. And they said it was due to two vehicles who had a head-on collision. Evelyn, those things were bad, like bad. Two questions arose for me there. How much of a speed could have caused such an impact and a damage? These things were terrible. I mean, we're not even talking about people dying. It was in the manner, and I don't want to even describe that. People's remains were just all over the place. How much of a speed? And it happened on that, if you know the Ile-Ife, there is a part in which vehicles fly same route, same lane. So they have to face themselves, and the way are people. And it speaks to bad roads, by the way, because if the roads are good on this lane, the other lane is good, people will have to, although you still see people who are errant, by the way. Who
it also speaks to caution on the side of the drivers.
It was terrible. People lost their lives. Some of them could not even, let me just paint a bad scenario. Please, drivers, be careful. Our government at all levels, please do what you have to do. And we then know if actually things go overboard, it is because people throw caution into the wind. It was a bad situation. We wish all of us all the best today. We'll go on this quick break. When we'll come back to see what the papers are saying. All right, you're welcome back. And we're starting from the nation, looking at what is happening so far. No petrol supply issues, says NNPCL. Page 7, Tinubu back from Paris. The Nation newspaper has that. And, we learned queues have surfaced in some part of the country, especially in Lagos yesterday. And federal government, the NNPCL are saying no petrol supply issues. Federal government, our economic policies yielding fruits. Right. Edun, we are improving living standard. Bagudu explains revenue target. How we are bringing down inflation by Cardoso. More palliatives for vulnerable Nigerians. Palliatives. And some quotes there. As of yesterday, the volume of transactions in our market was over $844 million. These measures should stimulate growth, foster innovation, and uplift the lives of every Nigerian. Government to release food items for reserves to crash prices? Really? Tinubu special partner swings into action. Alake is Africa's mining minister's chair. All right, Mr. Dele. Amotekun arrest 149 in Ondo. APC opposition throw brickbat over Mina. Kano protest. Nigerians spend $40 billion on foreign education and healthcare. T-129 attack helicopters join battle against insecurity. Ladia Debutu, others charged with money laundering. Kogi money not missing. State government tells EFCC. Interesting one there. And is at the point that I bring Lade Jalabi. Thank you for joining us, Ladeje. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, EVELYN. Good morning, FEMI.
Right, a couple of headlines there, very interesting ones. The center has federal government economic policies yielding fruits. Edu says we're improving living standard. Bagudu explains the revenue target and how we are bringing down inflation by Mr. Cardoso. More palliatives for vulnerable Nigerians. Ladeje, your take.
Well, yes, I would have encouraged Mr. Wale Edun to go and say that to the people that protested in Kano yesterday, or the people that protested in Niger State. If your economic policies are yielding fruit, people should not be on the streets protesting. Femi, take camera, take your midgets, go to town here in Oshogbo. You see, I can see even the anger in you as a presenter. You are in the class of the people that are not like the people on the street. But if you can complain, if I can complain, if EVELYN here can complain, then that means things are bad, really very bad. So we need to stop all this blowing of grammar. Our policies are yielding. You said you have...
They were invited by the National Assembly.
Of course, you know,
duly so, and they gave their own side of the story.
Apparently, they will go there to go and tell the National Assembly members what they want to hear. But the reality,
or what they are doing,
or maybe what they are doing, what they seemingly to be doing. But the reality is that this is in contrast to what is happening in town. If you said you have improved the standard of living of the people, what have you done? Is it the palliative that we are melting? Okay, so they said the government has given out how many bags of rice last year after the subsidy was removed. Femi, in some communities, they said they got maybe 2 cups of rice each or whatever. So what are we saying? How do we, for me, I'm not always a fan of all these share rice, share food palliative because it won't take anybody out of food. Market money, trader money doesn't take people out of poverty. Have a good monetary and fiscal policy that will go hand in hand to make sure that the economy works better, that will reduce the inflation rate, that people that earn a minimum wage, which is 33,000 naira, can go to the market, spend part of that money to buy food, part of that money to pay for their student school fee. So if all these things are not in place, all the grammars, whichever way you think you want to blow them, doesn't make any sense to yell at Alekwodo market. That's just the reality.
Right. That'll be all from the front page of The Nation.
All right, from The Nation newspaper, we head on to Delhi Independent newspaper for today. On Delhi Independent newspaper, APC, LP, PDP bicker over protest on high cost of living. APC accuses opposition of plotting to subvert Tinubu's government. Mina protest was about hunger, not political parties. This is coming from opposition Labour Party. Tinubu has turned the economy upside down in 9 months, says the People's Democratic Party. Wants APC not to politicize protest by Nigerians against hardship. And Gbajabiamila Ribadu Cardoso ministers meet over cost of living. This is on page 29 of Daily Independent newspaper this morning. And to increase household incomes, AFDB disperses $540 million to states. Tantita arrests Moldovan vessel in Bayelsa for illegal bunkering. Nigeria reinstates flight suspension with Niger. Spells out exemptions. You can get that story on page 7. Kogi government raises the alarm over plan to tarnish ex-governor Bello's image. And 21 billion naira money laundering. Court quashes charge against former Chief of Air Staff Amosu. And still on Delhi Independent, Nigeria spent $40 billion on foreign education, medical tourism, In 10 years, CBN governor says FIRS targets 19.2 trillion naira revenue for 2024. Court renews order restraining police from arresting Rivers chief of staff. And top strip, Daily Independent front page this morning, Tinubu asks military security agencies to end insecurity. Oyo will be first to achieve electricity sufficiency, says Makinde. Ladeji, let's take you on that last story. Governor Makinde speaking there about electricity supply for his own state, and he's saying that Oyo will be the first to achieve electricity sufficiency, in the country. Your take?
Well, I think it will be a great improvement if states can take initiatives now. I think at a particular time, Lagos State tried to do something like that.
Yeah.
I think it is high time each state look at their area of strength and possibly, for me, I think even most especially the states in the north, where you have more sun, should be thinking of going, looking outside the turbine system that we use now. Currently, how do they generate, the electricity? Yes, we know electricity is still under
no, it's now concurrent.
It's now concurrent. Before Buhari left, I think it was on exclusive before, now it's on concurrent. So why would state not think inward, look inward and see what they can do? If Governor Seyi Makinde can do this, I think it would be good for the state Oyo and all other states borrowing, taking a lead from this and make sure that they look inward. Look at, okay, what do we have in abundance that we can use to generate electricity? Oh, well and good. If we can do all these things, what we are talking about, devolution of powers begins to run, and also it will be another source of income from the state, for the state, because now you have to look at, okay, we are generating electricity, we are supplying the people, how do we make more money from this? So for me, I hope Governor Seyi Makinde can see this through, and I hope this goes beyond just talking, promising people. I hope we put action into this and make sure things work right. We need to solve this electricity issue.
Great summation, Ladeji. I love the point where you said states should look inwards and be able to provide solutions, from what they have. Enough of them running to the center for help. I mean, yesterday, FEMI, we read about the Kano state governor calling on President Tinubu to help solve hunger in his own state. It's laughable.
I was going to go and see the president.
It's laughable. But then that will be all for Daily Independent newspaper today.
Interesting one there. The Guardian is next. The Guardian newspaper is our next point of stop. Inflation, price hike, push and urge, or diet beyond Nigerians' reach. The Guardian asked that. Inflation, price hike, push and egg a day diet beyond Nigerians' reach. Interesting. We learned a day, eating an egg per day is a good one for the diet. That's it. You have the representation here, the picture, the graph, picture of a broken egg having 200 naira note inside. Okay, maybe not yet. Around here is the around 120, 150 by the way for one, but then we don't know what obtains at another part of the country. Average egg cost 150 naira each and 3,600 naira per crate depending on location. Right. Wholesalers, retailers not getting enough eggs due to supply shortage, and just a representation of just a minute portion of people's diet for those who do that possibly every day. Before, a rise in fuel price increased transportation costs by 25 to 30%. Higher feed price has increased production cost. That's very obvious. Insufficient power supply from grid compounds, alternative energy cost dampens production. Per capita consumption of egg in Nigeria 60 eggs yearly compared to 250 to 5 or 300 eggs yearly in most advanced countries. Higher prices continue to affect demand. This report is saying maybe an average person in Nigeria will consume 60 eggs in a year. That's 60 out of 365 or 366 in a leap year days. And of course, in other nations of the world, 250 to 300 per year. By the way, these days, if you see people buy eggs, frying or boiling, You are seen as a ritualist. How come you? You know, interesting, but not a funny one. That's just reality. Moving on. Regional groups hinge coups on hardship, failure of democracy. You know, talking about the West African region. Bishops, northern elders lament rising inflation, hardship, insecurity. Akpata denies being Obasaki's mole. Distance itself from Edo Labour Party Secretariat violence. Interesting days ahead in Edo State. Naira free fall. CBN blames rising number of Nigerians schooling abroad. Medical tourism. Nigeria, Burkina Faso, 4 others to experience food crisis in May 2024. Why? Okay, Newspeak 3 of The Guardian should have that. Lagos, TUC, others protest ban on sachet alcohol. Cite potential 500,000 job loss. And the NNPCL spends 267.98 billion on security as oil operators struggle. And MOUAU shuts down, orders immediate evacuation of students from campus. Why? Newspeak 7. Astad Aladici. Many things. The federal government has talked about, you know, through NAFDAC, banning of sachet alcohol, but we learned that Lagos TUC, others are protesting the ban on sachet alcohol, citing potential job loss, 500,000 in number.
My first off, I'm one of those that applauded the federal government, you know, for taking that bold step. I think, you know, we just need to do something to curtail the abuse of these stuffs. You literally cannot walk on the street and know at least 5 spots where you can get those stuffs. And we talk about accidents here and there. You talk about bike men, you know, running people down every now and then due to the intoxication they get through this consumption of all these things. And you know, mind you, Femi, also, all these things have an adverse effect on the kidney, you know,
and their health,
on the health of these people that consume it. We are complaining about the health sector of the country. Is this the same people that will go out there and start doing GoFundMe for kidney transplant? So I feel, and also don't forget that these companies, they don't only produce these sachet alcoholic drinks alone. They have other things they produce. So the conversation of 500,000 people losing their job
loss,
I don't really want to believe
it's up to that.
It's up to that. No, I'm not even believing
but that's what some people deal in every day. So that's what they say.
If a company wakes up and feels what I want to do is to sell what will spoil the life of our people, then I feel if the company folds up, is not, for me, it's not a part.
But does that solve the problem? Because it's only the sachet that's been banned.
Femi, exactly. do you know the issue now? Most of these sachet,
it still comes in other forms.
Oh, I know it comes in other forms, but these sachet ones, you know, there's a couple of them. Even the bottled one, the other ones, we have a couple of them that are fake.
Okay.
Now imagine you combine, and you know, a lot of people say, okay, let me combine this with this, combining 2 fake products together. Somebody was doing the facial representative of how your kidney will look yesterday. So I just feel we need to take care. You know, enough. I mean, we need to reduce the rate at which people go down with, you know, renal diseases as a result of consumption of all these alcohol.
You haven't answered my question. Does this solve the problem of people taking alcohol?
Now, listen, Femi. It doesn't solve the problem. And let me tell you that there is no solving a problem 100%.
Absolutely.
You can reduce it drastically.
So, banning the sachet
in the last 5 years, Femi, you can pick off head, you even that doesn't consume all these things, you can pick off head and talk about new companies that comes up, you know, with different names of this product. Let us reduce drastically. It doesn't mean people will not consume alcohol. They will still consume. But at least all these sachet ones, that some of them might come in fake form and will lead to people coming down with renal infections. Let us reduce them drastically.
All right.
Yeah, that will be all from The Guardian.
Okay. You know, someone will say, how much of intoxication will the sachet one cost?
Well, I don't take, but I know people that take. They know the percentage on all these things.
All right, let's move over to the Punch newspaper for this morning. On the Punch newspaper, Nigerians spent $98 billion on foreign trips, education in 10 years. This is according to the CBN. CBN says it can't stabilize exchange rate alone, puts annual food imports at $15 billion. Senate summons Cardoso, grills CBN governor Friday over forex crisis, economic challenges. And FG vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Customs seized 854 million naira vehicles, others in January. And CS says, killer kidnappers free slain Kwara monarch's wife, 13 suspects nabbed. Dangote will list refinery, fertilizer companies. This is according to NGX Group Chair. And the top corner of the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, Tinubu returns, orders emergency meeting on food crisis. Naira weakens at official market. Banks sell $584 million. IOCs withhold fresh investments over $1.3 billion debt. These are all on the Punch newspaper this morning. Let's speak on insecurity. Ladeji, we hear that NAF has unveiled attack helicopters. The president is talking tough, talking to the security chiefs to end insecurity. And also, you know, good news, not so good news. Good news, the kidnappers have released the wife of the slain monarch in Kwara. What are your take on all of this?
Well, it's a sad one, like you mentioned. Not so good news that the monarch is dead.
Yeah.
But the wife has been released, and the police have said they've arrested a couple of suspects. I feel we should just follow these things through. If you get to arrest suspects, what has it led us to? Because over and over we've had these, suspects have been arrested. Let us see those things through. We need to reduce drastically the rate, because the moment you see, I think it's high time. I'm part of the people that want to call for bringing back the firing squad they use in, killing. No, sincerely, yours. Not until those guys see that this is where the route the government is going, that will reduce drastically. It doesn't mean tomorrow some of them will not go down and attack another people. But speaking to the issue of new copters, I saw it on the news yesterday that the US has sold about 12 new fighter helicopters to Nigeria. Well, all well and good. It is good. We need to invest in our security apparatus, and we need to also use these things very well. Don't forget that we before Buhari left government, we also bought some from Russia. So what has that actually resulted into? We can't keep investing in Tucano jet from Russia. We can't keep investing in all these firepower arms, and we still complain every day that kidnappers are kidnapping people. This is happening. Boko Haram is attacking. Bandits are attacking these villages. We need to put this equipment into good use so that the security of lives and property can be sure, and also people can return to farms. Because even, let me tell you, if we don't solve insecurity problem, then we have a problem of food. Food will not come in. If people in Benue State, people in Niger State can go on the street to protest because they can't go back to the farm, then there is a problem. In Oyo, people cannot go to farm because people are attacking them on their farms. There is a problem. Food crisis will come in. So we need to solve the insecurity problem. All
right. Thank you so much, Ladeji. And that will be all for this morning on the newspaper review.
Right. And something just popped up in my mind. I saw news yesterday. I think it's been on for like 2 days. A newspaper report from, I think, Premium Times that was, said they got, it was an Auditor General's report, that alleged that the Supreme Court in 5 years spent 12 billion naira unapproved. Yeah, an Auditor General's report, and we are seeing some of these things as we say here, on a lighter scale, a few billions here and there. But 12 billion is not a few billion.
Well, it's a few billions.
That they have spent it unapproved. And that has not really made the news like that. But then we get to look into these in the coming days as well. Thank you, Ladeji, for your take.
It's always a pleasure. And don't forget, Femi, you don't question me lots.
Okay, all right. Maybe not on this
Not
matter.
when it comes to the
Not
issue
on
of
the-
money.
No
Mr.
questions, my lord.
Those are
In their supreme wisdoms, they've felt this money needs to be spent to make sure that the judiciary arms of
We
government.
get to
These are
interrogate the
people's
matters for
billions.
that. Yeah, you know.
That's actually on a lighter note.
I understand that Nigeria will be great in our time, hopefully,
amen.
by God's grace. We'll go on this quick break. When we'll come back, the ruling party, the APC, you know, released a letter yesterday, and it's quite a controversial one. We get to look into that very shortly. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Stay with us. Right, you're welcome back. And the conversation starts right now, and it's about the rising cost of living. And the people of Kano, Metropolis, Mina in Niger State 2 days ago went to the street. In fact, they went to the state secretariat or the state house to, you know, press home their thought to say the cost of living is almost killing the living right now, and things are not too good. And the APC, that's the ruling party, responded to that yesterday in a letter signed by the National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka. We read out to you some portions of the letter, but that will be after this particular video, you know, that has that shows the protest. You should see this.
The closure of Nigerian borders is one of the major things that plunged the country into serious hardship. Also, US dollar is not our official currency. The naira needs to be strengthened, and we want the government to continue the payment of subsidy on petrol. Since it was removed, prices of food and transportation have increased.
There is hunger, there is poverty in the land, and there is no money. Things are so expensive in the market. The prices of food items.
All right, these are just some, you know, small portions of that protest from the power seat, that's Kano, Niger State to Kano, the commercial, center of the north and even the nation as well. People have been complaining, even beyond those two states, but these two states and these towns, cities rather, has witnessed these protests. So the APC yesterday released a letter and press statement, opposition parties instigating mass protest to undermine government. That was what they said. And they said it is arrant desperation to portray the APC-led administration as underperforming. Opposition parties are resorted to instigating unsuspecting young people to protest in the streets of some major cities. Of course, you have the letter scrolling on your screen right now. The protests in Mina and Kano on Monday were the manifestation of these devious and unpatriotic plots. That the protest happened simultaneously in both cities is not coincidental. It bears a bold stamp of an orchestrated and coordinated effort to instigate unrest and undermine the government. This mercenary opposition tactic is a clear and present threat to public peace and national security. While we recognize the right of citizens to engage in peaceful protest, we urge our good people to be vigilant and not lend themselves to the treacherous attempt by the opposition to promote social strife by incendiary rhetoric and manipulative plots. The President, Bola Tinubu administration, is solidly committed to doing everything in his power to mitigate the transient pains of critically important reforms that are crucial to economic recovery and sustainable prosperity for all Nigerians. It behoves us as good citizens of our beloved country to stand fast with our government in this noble stride. In due time, this policy reforms will yield enduring beneficial transformation of the material conditions of life in the country. It concludes by saying we implore Nigerians to shun the guile and unpatriotic attempt by opposition elements to destabilize the country, opposition elements to destabilize the country for their own base and parochial political gains. That letter was signed by Felix Morka, and we are being joined this morning by the spokesman for the Obidati presidential campaign, council, the 2023 elections, a chieftain of the Labour Party as well, Dr. Tanko Yunusa. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Good morning, OHIOLEI, and good morning, Nigerians.
All right. The APC, by the way, the Labour Party, through Mr. Peter Obi, just after the Supreme Court verdict, when he addressed that, said the Labour Party is ready to be the opposition party, the voice of the people, keeping the government on its toes. And now the APC came out yesterday to say the opposition parties are the one instigating mass protest to undermine the government. Now that the Labour is an opposition party, I'll put it to you, Dr. Tanko, according to the APC now, why are you, the opposition, instigating the people to protest against the government?
Okay, but thank you very much for this question. There's an adage that says that he who lives in a dent of a lion has the potential of being eaten by that particular lion. Now, in this regard, the APC-led government initially accused the Labour Party that we don't even have people on ground. We don't even have structures. Nobody knows us. But today, the APC is crying forward that we have the potential of igniting people. The same people that the same APC government has kept in perpetual poverty deliberately, denied them all the instrument of survival, could not provide them with security, make their children very, very dependable at home. None of them can go to school. Majority of our farmers cannot go to farm. Our integrity in the Commission of Nations has been dragged to the mud. We as a people have lost confidence as a persons, even in the government generally. These are fundamental issues that are practical. But I want to say this. Is there any evidence of truth that where any of the opposition have come out to mobilize people, to go onto the streets, and then to demand for what is rightfully theirs? There has not been any of such. So the fact is that the APC-led government are the orchestrator of their instigation, because they directly make life miserable and put pain and pang on the plate of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people are not docile. They're very intelligent people. So when they rise up to stand for their rights, it is that they have been pushed to the wall. And I think, with all due respect, the Nigerian people have been ridiculously patient this far. Remember, at a point in time, Alhaji Musa Yar'Adua, who was the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we were buying a bag of rice at 3,500. 3,500. Era of Jonathan came, we were buying a bag of rice at 7,500 naira. Today, you cannot ascribe a bag of rice price. It's either oscillating from 60,000, probably to 70,000, and God knows when. The most interesting thing is very even difficult to even lay your hands on it. The most staple food that Nigerians eat, gari, probably corn, and the rest of them, are becoming so difficult to even get in the market. If a wife, as we speak to you directly, me and you, send your wife to the market with the cost of just about 50,000 naira for you to buy a household needs, I can tell you she'll come back with a nylon bag. This is what is happening at the moment now in Nigeria. That is for those who even have it. For those that don't have it, they are begging on the street for survival. Does not enough for the people to have stormed to the villa and demand for a rightful place where the APC government has failed woefully to lead the people, the fundamental prayers, and they sworn to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as enshrined in Chapter 2 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they will do and protect the integrity of Nigerians and provide succor, provide protection for their life and property. They have failed in their responsibility, which is the orchestration of their own manifestation of their trouble, not any of the opposition. What we are doing is that when they put the people on the pain and pang, they orchestrated their killing, we go and give them hope. That's what we are doing.
All right. You know, in that letter signed by Felix Morka, he called it a treacherous attempt by the opposition to promote social strife by its incendiary rhetoric and manipulative plots. That was how these act, or, you know, the perception of this letter, that was how it was driven. A treacherous plot and, you know, attempt by the opposition parties. Now, you have said there is no, you know, evidence to show that is the opposition that is instigating or inciting the people. But, you know, the same Felix Morka on the program yesterday said, okay, they welcome criticism, but you should profile solutions to these issues, not just speaking on the matter and try to incite the people and making it look like the President Tinubu-led administration is not doing anything. What would be your take on that? Like, instead of you to be promoting peace and, you know, unity among the people, you know, yes, doing the work of opposition, but you are just on a treacherous attempt. Shouldn't you be profiling a solution to these issues, or advice, rather, if actually you are really patriotic?
Let me throw back the words of the publicity secretary to the party called APC. Almost an unborn child will tell you that he knows that APC lies a lot. Almost an unborn child will tell you that they have been treacherous and been holding the Nigerian people in total disdain. They have no respect for the integrity of the people. They only do what they want to do and then tell you to go to the court. They continuously, unabatedly, continue to insult the sensibility of the Nigerian people when we know things that they are telling us they are bunks of lies. Now, when you come to the issue of profiling solution, we in the Labour Party have always been very critical of certain issues that are not right and against the people. And when we speak true to power and profile a solution. The gentleman which you played his video just a while ago from Niger State, let me explain. He mentioned the issue of security. He mentioned the issue of border that was being closed. He mentioned the issue of palliative, or probably the issue of removal of fuel subsidy. Let me take the solution that we prefer. Yes, Peter Obi and Deti Baba Ahmed has said clearly that if they got into power, they will also remove subsidy. But they will remove subsidy systematically with solution on ground. And what they said they will do was, first of all, institutionalize what we call modular refineries. And you are all aware that our governor in Abia State, Dr. Alex Oti, already has put machineries in motion for a takeoff of what we call modular refinery. And now, the idea of the modular refinery was a short-term gap for us to be producing our own petroleum and other byproducts from oil that God has given us, not to continue to import. We did not agree with the exportation of the crude oil and importation of the oil. Now, that will have helped to reduce and cushion the effect of the pain that we've already instilled on the people. This particular government did not think of what the solutions were before they announced the removal of the subsidy. That greatly has affected the Nigerian people. Now, when you talk about the issue of production of food, remember, our mantra has always been from consumption to production, empowering the people from the grassroots, empowering the local government for production, because it is only when you secure the local government that you can be able to allow our farmers to produce food that we can take, because we are not lazy and Nigerians. That is what we'll have done. And the issue of security, when you move the people, when you connect with the people, they will be the first security of their own life and their property, because you have checked the borders, empowered the security agencies, increased the level of our police recruitment, training and all. These are some of the things that we will have done differently. And we will do it with the involvement of the people on ground. This government does not care about the people. They take decisions unilaterally. And when they take the decision unilaterally, they don't care how you respond to it. It's the only word that they will understand is what the people are doing to them right now. Right. This has nothing to do with the instigation that they are claiming. I repeat, the APC is the architect of its own problem. They lie to the people, deceitful to the people, and they hold them in total disdain.
All right.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much. Now, on different platforms, the All Progressives Congress has accused the opposition, majorly the Labour Party, of seeing nothing rightly done by this government. They say you are quick to condemn and slow to praise. You know, they think what you do on social media, I mean, you go to social media platform to talk about the challenges of this government, to talk about what they are not doing right, even when they make some positive, positive movement in some quarters, you turn blind eyes to that, but you are quick to condemn whatever policies they bring on board. Don't you consider that insightful?
Not at all. If they have done something right, please, they should point out to the Nigerians. Nigerians are not blind, neither are we. You see, when you do something that is right, you shut up the opposition. When you do the right thing, you completely shut up the opposition. But when you do the wrong thing, and you know you are doing the wrong thing, definitely you have a very insightful and very strong people in Nigeria who are watching what you are doing. Just tell me one thing that they have done that is right. Is it the removal of playing to the gallery of the removal of the petroleum subsidy? You are here. They promised Nigerians that they are going to give them 25,000 naira each. As of today, that particular money has not reached any Nigerian, as I know. They promised the Nigerian Labour Congress that they are going to increase the salary of the civil servant. Till today, that particular payment has not been made. In fact, what ended up was that they have one of their ministers, just for her to confirm the names on the register. She siphoned close to about 48 million or 488 million. I cannot even remember the figure. Till today, that particular register has not been confirmed. Is it Yunus Atanko that they are paying?
But she was suspended, Doctor. She was suspended by a principal. Is that not commendable? You're talking about the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs.
Yes.
So I'm saying she was suspended by a principal. Is that not commendable? We have seen administration where the ministers were accused of an untoward act, but the principal turned the other eye. So, but for the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betteredu, our principal, took to action and she was suspended. Is that not commendable?
Not commendable at all. What ought to have been done, this is not the first time we've seen this kangaroo kind of judgment. And remember, at the point in time, the former secretary to the federal government under this particular leadership of the APC was also adjourned to have been accused and was suspended. Do you forget? No. Now, she has been suspended. Was she arrested? No, they will tell you that investigation was already been done. the other lady, Shadia, she was also in the same conduit pipe of making money for themselves and their cronies. These are things that ordinarily in a very functional government, this particular person will have been arrested and persecuted accordingly. As we speak today, she's not the only minister that is supposed to be arrested, because majority of them already, you just heard about Hadi Sirika. Billions of naira have been found into his own brother's account. These are people who promised us that they are going to give us a national carrier. We didn't see even anything. All we saw was a branded Ethiopian airline. These are things that have been happening on a consistent basis. Do I need to tell Nigerians when they can see that their collective matrimonial resources have been siphoned by a group of, permit me not to use this particular word, criminals, and they continue to do this particular thing unabated? And you are telling me that probably they have done something or probably been able to do something about their criminal activities? Unfortunately, no. Look, we are in Nigeria as of today, that the voice of the voiceless has been seen to be an antagonistic position, even when he's fighting for his own survival. I am saying to you right now that Nigerians cannot eat 3 square meals. Is it the Labour Party that put them in that particular perpetual situation? Obviously, no. So the fact remains that this particular government continue to tell lies, because the fundamental that built this particular government on the first place was built on lies, and unfortunately has been legitimized by our judiciary. If the health is bad, and the statement that was made to say, okay, when you have a fish, once the head is rotten, the whole body is bad. That is how it is. So because they have seen a conduit pipe that this particular leadership is seeking for legitimacy, and so therefore is looking for ways in which people can ascribe to them whether they've done something right or wrong. At the point we are now, they fundamentally continue to do the wrong thing. And definitely Nigerians must speak, because the honors of leadership lies on the hands of those who have requested or demanded that they want to rule. Now you are ruling, but you are ruling wrongly. So as far as we are concerned, nobody is inciting any problem. APC-led government is the architect of their own misfortune, and we have said it before, to put the people in pain and pan.
All right, you have said that even on this program repeatedly now, that the APC are responsible for whatever they are saying or how the people are responding or reacting to them, especially as witnessed in Mina and in Kano. Now, President Tinubu has the mandate, you know, officially, legitimately by the law, by the way, for the next 4 years. The Supreme Court had said so. But now, in the last 8 months, we've witnessed some spiral upward, you know, movement of the dollar against the naira, which means the naira is on a downward spiral against the dollar, against major currencies of the world. 1,004, 1,005, depending on the IE window, is, you know, the naira against the dollar right now. The security is not securing anything at all, if I may use that particular language. You know, abductions here and there, one would say is not entirely new, but then this upsurge is so worrisome that many persons are talking about it. Some of those protesters talk about security, you know, people can't go to farm. These are the reality that we are seeing. But then President Tinubu will be there, at least in the next 3.5 years or thereabout. What do you think they should do? You have your grievances against the party, but as the Labour Party is the opposition party now. But Dr. Tanko, you are first a Nigerian. What should they be doing right now? If actually you are to have a one-on-one sit down with President Tinubu.
Thank you very much. You see, that is exactly where they missed it. For any purposeful government that intends to lead the people aright, any criticism that is being stated by the opposition ought to have been considered or used as a free consultant. I just gave you some ideas of solution to some of the problems. But instead of them to see it as a positive criticism, they see it as negative criticism. We just told you that in order to solve the problem of the issue of removal of petroleum subsidy, what the government should have done in the first place, what we would have done, would have been to institutionalize modular refineries in 6 geographical zones of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do you know what that would do? That will have solved at least 50% of the intake in terms of petroleum products. It will have reduced the cost of exporting, and we are gaining and having other byproducts that we will be producing as a people. That I have mentioned. It is a short-term solution. But would they have taken it? No, they will not, because their cronies and their family members are those who are enjoying the exportation of our crude oil and benefiting from it for their own personal family intakes. All right. This is what are some of the problems that we have. The government is not considering governing the people. They are interested of governing themselves within themselves and making gain for themselves. The issue of the dollar against the naira, it is clearly clear, even though some people have said that probably my principal owned a bank and he has a lot of dollars in the bank account where he also becomes a director in the bank. But the truth is that that is a business. If the government has a policy that says that, okay, our principal, for example, just yesterday said, we have a currency. This our currency must be used within our own domain. We have allegations where a sitting governor had to travel to another country for his allegedly girlfriend, spending humongous dollars. He is of the government of today, spending humongous dollars in that particular country. They don't spend, they in government as of today, don't even spend naira. They spend dollars. The government of today, even if you go, probably if you are privileged to visit the president or visit any of them in the government house, they will give you dollars as a kind of a gratitude for coming, because they think that when they give you dollars, they can keep their secrets, because it's a little to carry, but has a lot of value. So these are some of the criminal activities that they do within themselves. So they have to show practical example of using our own currency and promoting it in such a way that you bring in more production rather than consumption.
All right, doctor.
What for them is that they should major strongly on agricultural products by securing our borders and making the Nigerian people from the local government, which is the source of our strength, to ensure that they empower the people so that they can be able to earn legitimate money belonging to them. Right. These 3 sessions are some of the things that can help in solving the problem. They should take it as a free consultancy. All right.
All right, Dr. Unisa Tanko, we are pressed for time at this time. But before we let you go, there are talks in some quarters that, Labour Party is saying they want to be the major opposition to the ruling APC is far from being the truth. In fact, some people say that it is a one-man poll business, that Peter Obi is the opposition. Remove Peter Obi from Labour Party, there will be no opposition. How do you respond to that? Because we have seen in so many instances where it is Mr. Peter Obi that has been responding, challenging the government, and nothing from the Labour Party.
No, that is not true. I am a member of the Labour Party, and I also speak for Peter Obi. I have been critical of this particular government. And I know the public secretary has been critical. The national chairman, Julius Abure, has also made his own statement. The national secretary of the party has also been speaking. So it is not only the presidential candidate of the Labour Party that has been speaking. Probably what you will say, which I agree to, is that they take most of the things that he said more seriously and fail in that becoming a dent to their own leadership. That I will agree with you. But the simple fact that Nigerians are talking, you just made a statement, you just saw a video of Nigerians speaking in their rights as Nigerians to challenge the status quo, what is happening to them. So in other words, it is not only the Labour Party, the presidential candidate that has been speaking. And in any case, why should they even be bothered? After all, they said we don't have structures. We don't have people on ground. If one person can be taking them to the cleaner just the way they is, then whatever if we now form a force together, then they will have been run out of government.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Yunusa. Thank you, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, Labour Party chieftain. And of course, he spoke for the OB Presidential Campaign Council at the last election. Thank you for your time and take.
Thank you very much, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right, that was Dr. Yunusa having his thoughts here on the program Morning Spring. We take a break right now. We'll speak with somebody from the ruling party. Don't go anywhere. All right, the conversation continues right now, and it's still about the allegation made by the APC that the opposition parties are the one inciting, instigating protest against the ruling party. In that letter, if actually our producers can have the letter on our screen, that the opposition parties are having a treacherous attempt that the one trying to destabilize things and making it look like the President Tinubu-led government is not really doing anything, and these are the issues. Opposition parties instigating mass protests to undermine the government. We have been joined for an angle into this by public and political affairs analyst and of course, a member of the APC as well. Golaboni is a doctor and, of course, a philanthropist in his own right, but then somebody who is passionate about Nigeria and a member of the APC as well. Dr. Golaboni, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, your party is alleging that it's the opposition that are instigating the people, at least with what we have seen in Kano and in Mina 2 days ago, in which people are protesting. They are talking about the high cost of living. What a bag of rice was, 38,000 naira in May, is now around 65,000 naira, if actually I'm correct. If it's not more than that, a bag of sugar sold is almost, the price in May is almost double that right now, and that is the way it is, of which I know, because that's why I mentioned that part, that you're a philanthropist, and I know people call on you, you help people out in this kind of situation. And now for me is the audacity. Many persons are saying, how dare the APC say these are the handiwork of the opposition?
Good morning.
Thank you.
Once again. Look, I'm bewildered that journalism can tend towards what political party wants them to be. Look, Mr. Taiwo, Mr. Femi, the truth remains that there is problem in the society. There is economic crisis in every country of the world, especially in Nigeria, and it will take a mad person not to acknowledge it. But the problem I have is this: we are living realities to face frivolities. How? There is no way action will not call for reaction. And the action that there is increase in almost everything we produce and the ones we don't produce in Nigeria is an action, and it must call for reaction. And reaction is automatic in certain degree in response to the action given, and the reactions must follow. But the truth remains, the ideology of a party is different from the implementers of that ideology in a party. It is not APC, even if I thought it is APC saying this is not the voice of the presidency. And whoever is saying this from APC should be taken as a person and be dealt with. That is on one side. On the other side, the truth remains that whoever is calling for strike is justified at this point in time. You have already labeled me as a member of APC, which I'm not denying, but which is truth and in all ramifications. But the truth is this: either we protest or not, what should be cogent to us? What should be our focal point? What should be our major concern now is how are we going to get out of this doldrum? How are we going to get out of this economic hardship? I must acknowledge that there is hardship. Personally, I'm overwhelmed by the number of people that are asking me for assistance, even when myself is in need of assistance. So in summary, nobody can stop reactions, because once there is action, there must be reactions, either in equal time or in other way around. There must be reactions to actions. Now, but for anybody to come out and make it the most important issue to discuss now is out of context. Right. Either they allow action, either they allow protest or not, either they are blackmailing opposition or not. The bottom line is the people are suffering because of some policies, which I know. But how we arrive at that place, what can we do, should be the major thing. I have seen on social media, Tinubu being labeled, APC being blackmailed, and the rest. How does that change the realities on ground? That is my concern. All right. How are we going to solve this problem? Right. That's my concern.
Yeah. Doctor, good to know when you talk about journalism being influenced by politicians or political parties. I'm sure that is not correct, because this is about what we are, the mirror of the society. So if there's an assertion from
Mr. Femi, please, I'm not saying that they are being controlled. Okay. So, no, there are subtle ways by which people can be controlled. All right. For example, now. Yeah,
we are really pressed for time, doctor. So that
by bringing out that leaflet that they don't want protest, that one should be brushed aside. Right. Because if we are dwelling on either we are going to protest or not, protest will not solve any problem. Right. What are the actions that should be taken? I'm an existential person. When you say you are a realist, I'm an existential realist. Existential in the sense that what is needful, what is relevant, what is fruitful, what can be practical, what is functional, what can bring results. Right. It is not about someone is insinuating that I should not protest. Either I protest or not, the status quo ante remains.
That's right. You know, we will, in as much we'll try to have a functional and a sane society, a kind of society that calls for accountability on all sides, from the leaders to the followers. That is the kind of society that we should all be proud of. The APC called for people's support. They called for people's mandate. They traversed the length and breadth of this country to say, we are going to make things better. Even if it is from APC to APC, the man came on the idea of the renewed hope. And it seems the hope is waning. The hope is fading. People, thank God, you said it yourself, people are calling on you even when you have your own needs, you know, to please help them. This is the
hope is fading within how many months?
Please hold on. That is why we are having this conversation. And when the APC, your party, is saying that it is the opposition that are instigating these things, and now it appears that you don't even agree. Do you agree with the wordings? Let me even ask, with the wordings of that particular letter, which was signed by the spokesperson for your party? Do you agree with the wordings?
I don't even reckon with it, apart from agreeing with it, because no matter, even in other countries where we envy, they still protest there. It is natural tendency, a natural, a kind of natural reactions to actions. So for anybody to protest, it is normal. It is normal reaction to situations. So for anybody to stand up and say that someone is instigating someone, it's a kind of a small screen, an attempt to parry the problem. So I don't make sense out of it at all. And whoever is saying that is saying nonsense. Why shouldn't people protest? Even there is protest in heaven. So what are we not saying? So that someone is talking about protest or no protest is irrelevant to me, honestly.
All right, Dr.
So what
Oli, I should say that that statement was by the publicity secretary of the APC, and it
in
was
his own right.
on
in
the
his own right.
letterhead of the All Progressives Congress, not on his own letterhead. So he's speaking for the party in his capacity as the publicity secretary. But let's move away from the protest, because I can see that you are not against the protest, like you said. For every action, there is a corresponding reaction. But let's talk to the economic policies of President Bola Tinubu. As a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, do you agree with his economic policies?
Look, that question is so broad. Broad in the sense that if I agree with the policy, to a significant extent, I agree. But the problem is point of implementation. Look, we have discussed it. We have discussed it several times that subsidy was never giving us what we intended to achieve through subsidy. Subsidy in simple form is okay, that we are not producing this item, and it's very germane to the existence of our people. Therefore, if they are selling it 10 naira over there, and we know the income of our people cannot buy it, let's pay two naira from the 10 naira so that it will be affordable in correspondence to the income and the economic situation in your country. That is what subsidy is supposed to be. But here, because of our nature, subsidy was just a way of drying and draining the resources of the country, because even the quantity they were bringing in could not tally with the amount we are spending. So we all agreed wholeheartedly that subsidy must go, and it is gone. It is gone forever. Nice. My problem is when subsidy was removed, it was timely. Some people will want to tell you that they could have put some things in place. Nothing will be put in place that will not allow subsidy to go. And as a matter of fact, Buhari did not even budget beyond June. So either Tinubu did it at the right time or not, there won't be subsidy beyond June. So I think he did the right thing. The problem I'm facing about that policy now is because you are trying to let me know whether all the policies are okay. My problem with that policy is this: we have removed subsidy. And the reason for removing it is the money being squandered will be channeled to development. Good. And truly, this money was accrued, right? When this money was accrued, allocation to state increased exponentially. I use the word exponentially. I know what a state in Southwest collected, at least when they have the best allocation from federal government, it used to be between 6 billion and 6.5 billion. As at last allocation, the same state collected more than 12 billion.
What state are you talking about?
Hello?
What state are you talking about?
Osun State.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Now, let's now look at this. If I say the policy of removal is okay, it's okay at the level of removal. If I say the policy of removal of subsidy is okay, it's okay at the level of federal government getting more money. It's okay at the level of federal government disbursing this money to states. Now, of all the states in Nigeria, how many states as of today increase salary? I'm asking you, please.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
How many states in Nigeria had increased the salary of workers, at least to stand as corresponding increment to what was given by the federal government? How many states? I'm asking.
You are the analyst here, Doctor.
But we've had wage awards in some states. I mean, we've had wage award paid in Osun State. At those states, Governor Obaseki, I think, added to their minimum the workers'
wage,
salary.
40,000.
Exactly. So some governors are doing the work.
some say, I think as Osun State done so.
Doctor, you know what? Because we are
Look,
really...
I'm asking you this. Hello.
No,
you
doctor,
can't tell me
we asked the question.
Hello.
We asked the question here.
I'm not defending I'm not defending anybody.
Yeah.
I see a problem with the policy, but we have not gotten to the stage.
Right.
Now, the federal government disbursed more allocations to state as dividends that were able to accrue from subsidy removal.
Yeah.
Now, what are the effects or impacts, significant impacts on states? That is where the problem starts. If I were Tinubu, what I will do is this. Okay, we have gotten some money and your allocation has been increased. The next thing I will do is, if you don't give me templates on how you are going to spend this excess, I will release it to you. Rather, I will release what you used to collect until you tell, because if there is no uniform increment in salary, the people will continue to make noise. People will continue to agitate, and nobody, either APC secretary or anybody, can stop protest. So if the policy is nice, but there must be compellence. I use the word compellence on how states should administer this money, so that there will be even cushioning of effect. People are really facing it. I won't lie. But at what
Dr.
level
Oni, we have to go.
Did we experience glitch?
Yeah. We have to go. Really, thank you for your time. But in 15 seconds, the people are angry. They are hungry. This is obvious. This is not a party or political thing. The aftermath of these decisions, the government has come out to say, we'll bear the pains, better days ahead. But it seems like what is affecting the people now cannot even allow anybody to see any better day ahead. Now, as it stands right now, in 15 seconds, do you think the economic team put together by President Tinubu and he himself as the leader can turn the corner in 15 seconds?
Look, I'm still saying that they have good policies.
Okay.
Fine. But the implementation is the problem. Now, when you look at all this subsidy removal, it must go in tandem with other financial or monetary policies. For example, stabilization of naira and dollar, which can never be done by any policy other than the principle of economics, which is productivity. There is no point. It's just like you have a shop. You are saying that because you don't have a good record, that is why your shop is not thriving. It is not good record first. It is good management. It is the production that will lead to what you will record. And that is what we are talking about forex.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ogbolabo.
Good morning, Mr. Femi. And also, before we go, in case you have any palliative for me, I'm still waiting for it too as well. So don't think that is that because
Mr. Oni, you should talk to your state governor.
You should talk to your governor, your party members.
Okay, I should talk to my state governor.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Right, ending on a humorous one. That was Dr. Ogbolabo Oni, APC chieftain, of course, a public affairs analyst. We're able to take different sides to the allegation of the All Progressives Congress alleging, that's why it's allegation, by the way, that the opposition parties are the one instigating the people to protest. Your guess is as good as ours. What we do here is to have a platform to have these conversations towards having a better and a functioning Nigeria. Femi Ojo is my name. This program will return tomorrow. Have for yourself a very rewarding day. God bless Nigeria. And please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. There is a recap of this program there every time. EVELYN, let's go.
Of course, you know the morning routine. Stay tuned for Spring Trends right after this broadcast. I'm EVELYN OHIOLEI.